Hi guys, welcome to another video on my channel, and in today's video we're going to be creating a split landing page like this, so a split landing website like this, whatever you want to call it. So this is one section, this is another section, it's also another section. We use the CSS grid a lot because this is one fraction now, and this is also another fraction, this is one fraction, this is one fraction, and also like this. So this video is beginner friendly for those of you who just started HTML and CSS. I really recommend this video because we use the CSS grid a lot, and I'm going to be explaining how the CSS grid works to the best of my ability. So without further ado, let's jump in. So I'm going to go to Visual Studio Code right now, and I just created a folder on my desktop, and I named this split landing page. So you can name it whatever you want. You can name it split landing website or so. So I just have the images which we're going to be using. So these are the three images we're going to be using. I'm going to have a link in the description below to the exact image. I got them from Pexels.com, and feel free to use other images if you want to. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. So feel free to use any other images you want. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to follow exactly along. And first thing I'm going to do is create a new file. So our index file, so it's index.html, create it, and where are you? Okay, right here. So now I've created, I'm going to generate our boilerplate. I'm going to do shift 1. Then if you're using Visual Studio Code, you can generate a quick boilerplate with M8. So we can also shift 1 and give you this exclamation and press tab. Or if you're using Sublime Text, that's the tool I know, you can just do HTML and tab. Oops, this is not working because this is Visual Studio Code. But with Sublime Text, you can do HTML and tab, then it's going to generate the boilerplate. But I'm going to return to this now, and I'm going to change the title to split landing website. And before I forget, we're going to be using the fonts. Which font I'm going to use? We're going to use Lato font. So I'm going to come in here. Let me close this. Don't ask me, don't show me again. I'm going to call this, and I'm going to go to fonts.google.com and search for Lato. So right here and click. So where are you, for God's sake? Okay, so I selected the I selected the light. I'm going to call this, and I'll copy this. Copy, go to Visual Studio Code and paste it above the title, and I'm going to keep this open for now so we can grab this, but let us continue. So I'm going to open this with Live Server so we see what we're doing. I'm using the Visual Studio Code Live Server extension, which makes life easier, like I said in one of my videos. So you can just go to the extension, but if you don't have it, you can just install it if you want to use it, or you can just open it on your file system. Like just go to the file and double click and so on. So I'm just going to come here. This is the extension. I have it installed, so you can install it if you want. I'm just going to close this up, and I can right click and open with Live Server. Then it's going to open on my default browser. I'm using Mozilla Firefox for now because Chrome has been acting up lately. So I'm going to just continue writing some stuff. And what do we want to do now? So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, each part is going to be a section. Okay, this is it. So each part is going to be a section. This is going to be one section on its own with the content and the image, and this is also going to be another section on its own and another section. So let's just create a section with a class of showcase. You can call it hero or showcase. I like calling it showcase. And in here, as you can see, I'm using image, so it generates the order closing tag for me. And I'm going to put a div, and I'll put another div. Let me see, should I put another div? I'm going to put an header like this in here. Does this make sense? No, this doesn't make sense. Let me just put another div, the class of header like this, and this is where our the logo will be, and also the nav bar. And you can see, like I said, I made this video like 3 times and I said the same thing. I forgot about this one. So this nav bar is actually not working because I want this video to be pure HTML and CSS. So it is not working. I have like 2 videos on my channel where we made nav bar. So if you want to implement that, then feel free to implement that. You may make the nav bar, the link coming from probably bottom or the right or so, or anyway you can make it occupy the whole screen, and that will be just fine. But I just want this to be pure HTML and CSS. So let's continue. So in the header, I'm going to have an h2 that says New York City. Then I'll have a div with the class of burger like this, and I'll have 2 more divs with the class of line-1. And I'm going to copy this down. To copy this down, you can use Alt Shift down, then it's going to copy it down. And in here, this should be all for this part. The reason I'm having this div right here, this div that is wrapping around this header, is because when we're using the CSS grid property, we're going to divide it into 2 parts. If I do not have this div wrapping around this part, then everything is going to be I would like explain this. It's going to be divided like when we use the fraction, but I'm going to show you this later on when we start using the CSS. So below this div with the class of header, okay, yes, below the div with the class of header, I'm going to have another div with the class of let me see, container. Do we need that? Let me just class of showcase dash content. So this is going to be the content in here. So I'm going to put an h1. I will say discover the city on Sweet Send, just some random text. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put a paragraph with the class of lead, because I want to style this a bit differently. I'm saying for those who are lost, there would, yeah, like this, just some random text. And I have a button, then I will say get started like this. And so if I save now and take a look, it looks like this. It looks like this, which looks ugly, no problem at all. So below this div, right, oops, what have I pressed? Not this. Below this div right here, I'm going to have another div, because this is going to be the 2 sections, like the 2 split on the page. This is going to be the first one. That's why I'm mapping it around this div, and this div I'm going to create is going to be another div, another section, which is going to be the image. So I'm going to have an image tag with the source is going to be in the image folder, then the first one, and I'm going to leave the alt empty for now. And if I save them and take a look, it looks like this, which looks bad. So this is the image, the super large. Let me just fix this a little bit. Let me come here and create our style.css page. I'm going to create style rather, so style.css, and let me just link it before I forget. So I'm going to come here and link our style.css and save. And in here I'm just going to say for all images. So what I like to do for all images, I will give it a width of 100%, so it doesn't spread all the way across. Now it is contained on the screen. So let us continue. So below this section, we're pretty doing the same thing. So below this section, we put a comment in here, showcase. I'm going to put another comment in here, and I'll say about, and I'll put a section with the class of about. And in here, what would I like to do? So in the class of about, this time our image will come first. So we deal with the class of image, and it's just going to be in the image folder. Then the second image, which is 2.jpg. Now I'll leave the alt empty. So I'm going to have another div like this, and I'll say an html that says we stand proudly united, I guess, as one. I could have copied this. Let me just copy this. That's so much stress. Copy this, copy, and I'm too lazy. Feel free to write it out like this. And what I like to, this should be all. This part is pretty simple. So I'm going to come here and take a look. It looks like this. So the third section is also going to be simple. So I'm going to say contact in there, and I'm going to say what would I like to do to the contact. before I forget, I would like to add the class of about dash content, so we can grab this in our CSS. I have a section also with the class of contact like this, and what I like to do to in here, I also like to have a div, let me see, the class of contact dash content like we did in the showcase. Hopefully, yes, I did showcase that content, so I'm also doing the same thing in here, and I'll say an H1, I'll say you lost, not lost, so I'll put the paragraph and say contact us now, and below, I'm trying to think, so below the paragraph I'll put another div with the class of contacts. In here I'll put 3 different divs. So this one's going to say the email, which is going to look like New York City at aerocenter.com. Just some random text. Please, if you're lost, do not call this number, I beg of you. You'll get lost more. So I'll just put, let me see, phone, just some random phone number. So the owner is no longer alive, like this, and this will be the center. So blog 193 suite 74 New York City. And what would I like to do? So below this div, right, that contains all of this, below this div I'm going to have another div just above this section tag. So this is going to be our image, and the image is going to be in the source of image folder, then the third one. And save it. Let's take a look. It looks like this. So this is the third one. It looks like this. And the last, not the least, so I have our footer, and I'll just put a small tag. I'll say copyright, and our copyright symbol with ampersand copy colon, and I'll do see 2020 New York City, and save, and it looks like this, which looks ugly. So now we can go to the fun part, which is the CSS. I'm going to come here and right in here, we're going to do a basic reset. So I have a common snippet I created myself. So now right now I can do BR then tab, which I name basic reset, and if I press tab, it's going to generate this basic reset for me. But if you don't know it, just feel free to write this out, and in like a week or so I will make a video explaining common snippet like this. So for those of you who don't know how to generate common snippets, then feel free to watch the video. I'll leave a link in the description of this video to that video. Am I speaking in Germany? I'll leave a link to that video, so you can watch that video and just get it. But if you don't know how to do it, you can just type it. What have I done? You can just type it like this. Asterisk means all for everything on the page. I want to do a margin of 0 and also a padding of 0. So remove the default styling of the H1 and the paragraph and every other thing. I'll do box sizing to border box like this, and that should be all for this part. So in the body, I'm going to have our body. I'll say body, and oops, whatever I said boy. Okay, I'm a boy, but regardless. So I'm going to use our font, which is the Lato font. I'm going to copy this, and paste that in here. I'm going to save the font family, font size to 17 pixels, and give it a line height of 1.7. This is what I really like to do most of the time. I'm going to give it a background of a really dark gray, almost black, and give it the color of white, so FFA, and I'm going to give it an height of 100% and also a width of 100%. And I forgot to show you guys, if I save and take a look, I can close this now and take a look. It looks like this, but I forgot to show you guys the responsiveness. Let me show you the responsiveness real quick. So it is very, very responsive. This is on the larger screen, and this is it when it goes smaller, and for some reason this is all at the top, but I'll fix that in this video. And if we go a bit smaller, then the paragraph text gets disappeared and everything still looks alright. And if we go a bit smaller than this, where are you? Boom, right here. So everything is now stacked like this. So everything is stacked, because if I did not make it stacked, then it's going to look so ugly and look like crap. So on smaller screen it looks like this, which looks nice. So this is just responsiveness. I just thought of showing you, and the navbar is not working either. So let's continue. In there below, what will I do now? So I'm going to style the header, this part, this first section. I like keeping this open so you guys can see what we're doing. I'm going to style this part right now. So I'm going to come here and call the debugger. So right now we cannot say debugger, so I'm going to say dot debugger and give it I'm going to call the divs in it and say the individual div. Remember I gave them the class of line 1 and line 2, so I want to first start give them similar properties, because reason I give them where are you, line 1 and line 2, because if you take a look at the final project, one is longer than the other, so the first one is longer than the other. So to start that, I'm going to give them different classes to call them. So I'm going to call you and see for both divs I want to give them a background color of a really light gray, and give them an height to share similar height of 2 pixels, and also a margin of 0.2 rem, and save. If you take a look, it looks like this. So now they stretch all the way across, no problem at all. So for the line dash 1, what would I like to do? I'm just going to copy this down and change this to 2. So for line 1, I'll just give it a width of 28 pixels, and copy this, paste it in, and just reduce this by 10 and save, and take a look. Now it looks like this, which looks better. So for let me see, for the showcase, let me see, this is what we're starting right now. The showcase, I want to grab let me see, let us make them display grid already, so we can see what we're doing. So I'm going to say display as grid, and this is how we use the grid property. If I save, I'm going to take it, nothing is going to happen right now. So we're going to specify the column. So I'm going to say grid template, then columns. I'm going to use repeat. We could have done one F file and save, and take a look. Now it is like this. So this is one fractional, this is one fractional, but if we have more than that, we can do one FR and one FR and one FR and blah blah. Oops, and what have I done? And blah blah blah, and it's going to look like this. So these are just the other two two fractionals, but this is just a pain in the ass if we have more than 2. So you can just do repeat, then 2 times 1 FR, and it's going to serve the same purpose like this. So this is working. I'm going to say, should I give them? I'm going to give them width of 100% and also an height of 100 viewport height. If I say, we take a look, it looks like this, but the image is not stretching all the way across. So I'm going to come here to for all images. I'm going to give them an height of 100 viewport height and save. Now it's stretched all the way across. So for all images, so I'm going to take an height of 100 viewport height. So this part looks settled already. So let's start with this this header right here. I'm going to say the showcase, and remember I have a class of header, so I'm going to say the header. I'm going to say display as flex. If I say when take a look, it looks like this. So by default, flex property is always in a row, so I'm going to prevent that from happening by saying flex direction to colon, and then it's going to change. Oops, I mean, I'm joking. By default, it's going to be in a row, and that is the fashion we want it. But I want this to be aligned also vertically and also horizontally, and so have some space between, so they both take each space. I'm going to say align items to the center and justify content to space between, so they're going to get spread out like this. I'm going to give them some padding, say padding of 1 rem top and bottom and 2 rem left and right, so there's little space between them, and it looks like this. So this is fine. What I like to do, let me just cross check. So this looks the same. So I would like to style this content right now. So I'm going to come in and say dot showcase dash content, And what would I like to do to the content? I would like to say display flex also. If I stay on, take a look, now it looks like this in this fashion. And say to prevent this from happening in this fashion, because right now I want it to go in a column, not in a row. So I'm going to say flex direction to column, and also align items to the center and justify content to this center and save. We take a look, it looks like this. I'm going to give it some margin on the top. So say margin top of 10 viewport height and save, and it looks like this. So there's a margin on the top. So what I like to do, let me first make this h1 bigger so we can actually know what we're doing now. So I'm going to come, say the h1, the showcase content, and the h1 in it. I would like to increase the font size to 4 rem, so up the font size to 4 rem and save, and it looks like this. Wow, this looks big enough. And also the paragraph, I'm going to say dot lead, because I gave the paragraph a class of lead. So I'm going to increase the font size. Let's say font size of, what did I do? Did I increase the font size? Let me take a look. No, I did not increase the font size. I just change the color to a really light color. So I'm going to say color to a really light gray, and it looks like this. So I want to put some padding at the left and at the right of this content, because right now it's all stuck to the left. I'm going to come here and say where will I put it? Right here, I'll say padding. I will with a padding of 0.5 frame top and bottom and 4 rem left and right, and I say we take a look, it looks like this. So I also want to align items to the left, and I'm going to say text align to the left, and see if it looks like this. Let me take a look. Now it looks like this. This looks all right. Okay, right now this is in the center. I made a mistake right here when I said align items to the center. I want to align items to the flex start. I'm just going to put it at the start, which is going to be around this side by default, so at the left hand side. So it looks like this, which looks all right. So what would I like to do? I like to give it an line height, because right now there's too much space between these two words and they're just one element. So I'm going to reduce the line height. I'm going to say line height of 1.5, because by default I gave it a line height of 1.7. If I say when take a look, now there's little space between here than before, which looks better. So for the paragraph, what would I like to do to the paragraph? I would like to give it a margin at the bottom to push the button. So say margin bottom of 1 rem, and also just do margin like 1 rem on top and bottom, 0 left and right, and take a look, it looks like this already. So for the button, let me see, did I give the class I want to give the class of btn to it. So I'm saying btn and save, and come here. I'm going to say for the btn, I would like to give it a background color of a white color, change the color to a really dark gray, get rid of the border. So I say border none, and also outline of none, and save. We take a look, it looks like this. We need to add some padding to it. So say padding of 0.5 rem top and bottom, 2 rem left and right, and take a look, it looks like this. So what would I like to do? This should be 0.8. I apologize, 0.8. looks like this. And what would I like to do? I like to increase the font size. So say font size of 1 rem, and also give it a cursor of pointer and save. So it looks like this. Now it looks like we can click on it. When we click on it, nothing will actually happen. So let me see, what does we want to do? I want to add an over state, which is not really going to show. I'm going to say oops, button, then on over I like to give it a background color of that gray color. If I say we take a look, okay, it actually works now. So it looks like this. I'm going to add some transition, because right now it just flicks into the over state, and I guess this is not working. Okay, it actually works. So it just flicks into the over state, which I don't want. I'm going to come here and say transition, oops, not transition, then all is out 0.5 seconds. Save. It looks like this. So whenever it looks like this, which looks better. So I guess we are through with this part. Let me just take a look. So it looks like this. I guess we are through with this part. So what do we want to do next? Now I want to do this other part, this other section. It's going to be pretty the same. So I'm going to put a comment in here. So I'm going to say showcase, and I'm going to come here. And let's forget, I like putting these images at the top. Like when I style the image, I'm going to put it all the way at the top here, so it does not disturb any other thing. So I'm going to come here and put another comment. This is going to be the about, and I'm going to say for the about, I give it the class of about. Hopefully, let me check. I give the class of about to the section. I'm going to say display flex, also like we did. So I can just come here and copy this, copy and paste the sucker in there. And what would I like to do after I've done that? I would save, take a look. It looks like this, but I want to change the background color of this to a really light color like this, because this background color is different. So I'm going to come here and say background color of a really light gray and change the color to, so we can see it, to a dark gray like this. It looks like this. So the image is pretty much fixed, because we gave the image, all image, an height of 100 viewport height. If you have more image on the screen and you don't want all to have an height of 100 viewport height, then you can specify it individually, but I just like this like this. So I'm going to come to this section now. To start this section, I'm going to say dot about / content, rather not section. So I'm going to say display flex, like we did flex, align items to the center and justify content to the center. I'm going to change the direction to colon. Right now, if I do not change the direction to colon and I save, it's still going to align pop out the box. In case we have more than one content on the screen, like we have the paragraph like this, and also have the button, it's going to be in a row fashion. So I'm going to change this by default to colon. So I'm going to say colon, and also add some padding of, let me see, 0 at the top and bottom and 3 left and right. Take a look, it looks like this. So what would I like to do? I like to text align to the center, and also do what? Give it an height of 100 viewport height and save. Take a look, it looks like this. So this looks pretty much okay. So what would I like to do next? This part is actually very simple and we're done with this part, hopefully. So I'm going to come to the contact section right now. I will say contact, and I'll say dot contact, and I'll copy this again because it is the same thing. Oops, copy this like this, copy and paste that sucker in. I'm going to change the background color to the gray and change the color to white and save, and take a look. It looks like this already. So what would I like to do also? I'm going to grab the content because the image is pretty fixed already. I'm going to grab the content, so I'm making it display flex. Dot contact dash content, and say display as flex, align items to the center and justify contents to the center. I'll give it the flex direction of colon, and also text line, not text emphasize, align to the center, and let me see, give it an height of 100 viewport height and save, and take a look. It looks like this already. So I'm going to grab which part do I want to grab right now? So let me just show you what I want to grab. I want to grab this H1 and the paragraph. So I'm going to come here and say dot contact content, then the H1 in it. I would like to increase the font size. So I'm going to say font size, sorry about this, font size of 2.5 frame, and that should be all. Take a look, it looks like this. For the paragraph also, I would like to change the color, and what I could have done was, let me see, okay, no, don't just do that. Let's just change this like this. So for the paragraph, I like to change the color to the light gray like this and save, so it looks like this. So what would I like to do next? For this div, I would like to style them differently. So I'm going to call, say contacts, because I gave it an ID of a class of contacts right there. So I'm going to call this div and style the div in it. So I'm going to call contacts. Then what I like to do at first, I like to give it a margin top or of 1.5 rem to push it down a little bit. It looks like this. To push this down a little bit, I'm going to call the divs in it. I'm going to call it like this. I will say for the div, I'm going to give them a border of 3 pixels. Oops, 3 pixels solid. Then our white color, and also give it a margin of 1 rem at top and bottom, 0 left and right. So text align to the left, and also let me just check real quick. And also, what would I like to do? I have to add some padding of 1 rem at top and bottom, 2 left and right. Give it a cursor of pointer and save and take a look. It looks like this already. So this looks nice. So I'm going to have an over effect for the border changing colors. If I take a look now, over this, the border change color into the light gray. So to do that, I'm just going to come say dot contact div, the div in it. I want to add an over effect to this, and I'll say the border. Oops, I can just copy this and just change the color. I'm going to copy this and paste this and just change the color to our light gray and see if it looks like this, but it flicks into the overstate. I'm going to add the transition. So say transition all is out 0.5 seconds, save. So it looks like this will transition smoothly. So I guess we are through with this part also. So the last part is the footer. So I'm going to come in and say, so our footer, what I like to do to the footer, I have to give it the background color of our light gray color, give it the color of a really dark gray, and give it some padding of 1 rem top and bottom, 2 rem left and right. If we see, it looks like this. I can text align to the center and save, and I guess we are through with this part. So hopefully this makes more sense. Just cross check. So this looks like this. Okay, I changed the color. Looks like I changed the color in here. Is that the color? Okay, that's the color. So this looks alright already, and I guess we are through. So the last part is the responsiveness, because right now the responsiveness looks like crap. So if I show you now and take a look, right now this is bad. Wow, the image is crying. So if we take a look on smaller screen around this size, this looks pretty decent. So let's take a look. So this looks decent, so I guess we do not need to touch this. And around this size, then I do not like it where it breaks. I'm going to reduce the font size, because right now I just pushed everything down to the bottom. I'm going to reduce the font size of this H1. So around what size is this? This is around I can guess 800 pixels or so. Oops, I just want to check the size. So why are you not loading, for God's sake? Where are you? So I'm going to put it to, why did they do that thing? Okay, right here. I'm not really used to Mozilla Firefox. I really hate it a lot, but which choice do I have? So what's wrong? What's happening? Like this. So this looks alright. Like this looks alright, but I do not like it the way it breaks. So I'm going to guess. Let me just guess. I can just guess, I guess. So I'm going to guess around maybe 980 pixels or so. Then I'm going to add our media query. So I'm going to say media query queries. Oops. And for those of you who don't know media queries, don't know much about media queries, whatever style you put in a media queries, that's what is going to happen at a specific width or height of on the screen. So let's say at media, then screen, not double, and into bracket max width of, I guess, 900 pixels. So whatever style I put in here is going to take effect on screen that are 900 pixels or less. So if I call the body and I say display as none and save, and that means this is not 900 pixels. If we get to around 900 pixels, then it is gone. So this is around 980 pixels rather. So whatever style you put in here is going to take effect on screen that are 900 pixels or less. If I change the color to red color and save, now all colors are red except the one we specified. So this color is red and so on. So that means we want screen that are around, or maybe 1100. So let's say 1100 and save, and now this is working. So around this size, Okay, yes, around this size. That's where we want to put our styles. So what I want to do is grab the showcase. I'm going to say dot showcase content, yes, then the h1. I'm going to call the h1 in there, and I'm going to say font size to by default it is 4 rem, so I'm going to say 3.5 rem. Okay, 3.5 rem and save, and that should make it reduce. So now it looks better. So on smaller screen it looks nice, and this is unavoidable anymore. But there's also one thing we can also do. Let me see. So on this looks decent already, so this looks better. So on screen that are smaller than this, then the image will start to cry. This looks surprisingly better. When I was doing this at first, it looks like crap. So let's see. So around this size, around 880 pixels or less, so the image is not really great anymore. So I would like to make it full stack and also get rid of this paragraph. Well, this looks surprisingly nice. Or is it just my eyes? So let's just start. I'm going to say at media. I can just copy this. I can just I can just copy this. Oops. I can copy this, copy and paste it in here and just put our ending tag. And on screen there are 880 pixels or less. Then what would I like to do? I would like to make the paragraph display notes. I can just copy this, copy and paste this in here and change this to the paragraph and make it display as none and save. It looks like this. So I would like to put some margin at the bottom, because right now it's all stuck to it's all stuck to the h1. I'm going to call h1 also. I'm going to say paste that in the h1. All I like to do to the h1, I would like to give it a margin bottom of 1 rem and save. Now it looks better. So this looks alright. This one are very responsive by default. So now what I want to do is make let me see, on smaller screen like this, so the image of started crying, so around 700 pixels or less, around this size, then this is no longer great. So I like to make this all on its own. So if we take a look at this now, this is all on its own. So to do that, I'm just going to come here. What we need to do is just change the template column, because by default when we take a look like this, we made it grid template column repeats 2 times then 1 fr. So this is what we just want to change. We just want to make it 1 fr by default, no repeats. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this is also copy and paste this in and change this to 780 pixels and put a curly bracket. And I'm going to say for the showcase, then what I like to do, just change the grid template columns to 1 fr instead of repeat. If I see when take a look, now this looks like this. I'm going to do this for everything. I'm going to copy this down and change this to the about. What I could do is, let me see, let me just change this to the about, and we'll get to see if we can do that and save. And it looks like this. So now everything is a little bit fucked up. So the fix for that, because right now we can no longer see the text, we can no longer see all text and the image are on top of themselves and something like this, which, and see the paragraph is right here, which is not great. So we can just give it an height of, I'll give it an height of 100% and copy this, paste this in and also paste this in and save. Now we can now see the text. So it looks like this, and the footer is all the way at the bottom. So the other thing we can do is call this showcase content right now, because it's the height just stops at the content. So wherever the content stops, that's when the height stops. So I want it to spread all the way across. I'm going to come here and say dot showcase content. I'm going to give it an height of 100 viewport height and save. It looks like this. And also changing, because right now it's something is pushing it down, because we gave it margin top of 10 viewport height. I'm going to change that to margin top of 1 viewport. Oops, what have I done? Margin top of 1 viewport height and save. Now it is all the way on the top, which looks better. So this is where I like it. If you want, you can also increase it. Let me see, will 0 work? Let me see, margin top of 0 and save. Still the same thing, but this is nice already. So like this is what I'm trying to say. We can just, instead of having this like this, we can just put a comma and say dot about, and also a comma say dot contact. I actually did not think of this when I was making the first one, so it's just saved in file size. Since they are the same thing, we can just do that, and it's still going to work, which looks alright. And I guess we are through. So let me take a look. The navbar is not working, that is fine. And there's one thing I forgot, I will just add that in a minute. So the image looks stark and every other thing still works. So let me just add this. I want to make this border, I want to make it a cursor, because right now it does not look like something that is clickable. So I'm just going to come all the way to the top and right here to the border, not the border divs, so to the border itself. I'm going to save border, I'm going to give it a cursor of pointer and save. Now we'll take a look. It looks like something that can click, but nothing actually works. So this looks alright, and I guess we are through. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys like the video, and hopefully the video is not too long. So thanks for watching, and I'm sorry if the video is a bit long, because I really like explaining to the core. I like explaining everything to the best of my ability, so you guys can really understand, and hopefully you guys appreciate that. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Like I said, leave a like if you like the video, comment if you have other questions. I promise to reply, and feel free to use this in other projects. This is completely open source, and I'll have, like I said earlier, I'll have the images in the description below, so you can grab them. And I'll also have the code, this code right here, what we wrote. I'll have it in the probably in the code pen or in the description below, so you can just grab that if you do not want to watch the video. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, like I said, and bye, peace out.